Morning.
Hi, how's it
How are
going?
you? It's okay. Just pray that we go through this fast because I have no power.
Oh, okay. Well, it's going to last 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay, so we're live now. Welcome to this broadcast. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Nice to be being broadcast across Moroccan waves this morning. Hope
Okay.
everyone is well.
Hi, Kevin. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, Samir. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, everybody. Very okay. Nice to be virtually in Morocco.
Excellent, excellent. So, first of all, Kevin, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Kevin Donnelly. I've been involved with NCUK now for, what is it, Andy? Close to 5 years?
Correct, yeah.
I'm the new head of school of London Academy, Casablanca.
Excellent. And Andy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Straughan. I'm NCUK's regional manager for across our African and Middle Eastern partnerships. And I've been working now with Samir since the start of the NCUK London Academy partnership. And in total, I've actually been working for NCUK for almost 7 years now. And yeah, we're very excited about the opportunities in Morocco.
Okay, today, many students actually don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. They don't know if the school will continue, online. They don't know if they're going to go back to, they're going to go to the university. They don't know if they should stay in a Moroccan university, they should apply in a Moroccan university, or they should still go for a British university or US or Canadian. I'm talking about those who want to go for an Anglo-Saxon bachelor's degree. Andy, since you're in the UK, what's going on there? Can you share with us your thoughts?
Yeah, of course. So obviously all countries have been affected by COVID-19 to a varying degree. What I will say is throughout all of this, education in general has really come together and shown how robust education is, whether that be online or taught face-to-face. Across the UK university sector, there are already significant plans and progress has been made to ensure that the education continues. So even in this September, the universities that NCUK works with, some of them have already announced that their semester 1 will be taught online, and obviously with the hope that semester 2 will be taught face-to-face once the situation does calm down. However, there are also universities which are opening as normal in September and will be operating on a very much a social distancing type policy. So all of the safety precautions and things will be put in place to ensure the students are safe and well as the academic colleagues. So yeah, to be honest, though the situation is challenging, everything is sort of carrying on as normal. All of the planning by the universities, by all of the schools and institutions is very much business as usual, which is good.
All right. Kevin, you had experience with a lot of students who went into this NCUK route. Can you tell me how it went? I know that you've been in multiple countries, but recently you've been managing a school in Nigeria. So can you tell me how it went for these students?
Thanks, Samir. Well, one of the things I think is really, really important to understand, and I want to follow on from what Andy said, is that the NCUK program or programs which I've experienced certainly over the last 5 years actually are probably more robust than I actually thought they would be, and it's very, very important to understand that, because so many people have got this misconception that the only route to UK universities is through A-level. That seems to be a misconception. And one of the things I found really interesting was that the diversity of the NCUK programs actually allowed students to be given opportunities that perhaps they otherwise wouldn't have, which I thought was very, very interesting. What I've also noticed about for our students is that the students who actually come through NCUK programs, I don't know what happens, Andy, maybe you could actually give light on this, but they seem to mature at a very, very fast rate. You know, I've seen students who have done average with IGCSE, for example. All of a sudden, in 9 months of the International Foundation Year programme, achieving 4 A stars. Now, I don't think there's any miracle there or any magic. I think one of the things is there is that the programme itself allows our students to mature but also develop in a way whereby the modules, etc., which are there, actually help students in a way which they can find their own way, if that makes sense. There's no, you know, even though a 9-month program seems not very long, if you ask our students, that 9 months like 2 years. And what I actually mean by that is that the robustness, as I mentioned, but also the very fact is that the standard is so high, and indeed every single student that has left us and gone on to UK universities have achieved extremely highly. Indeed, many of them have achieved first-class honours.
Yeah. Andy, first of all, I would like to welcome all the attendees in this call, and if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. So please feel free to ask questions, because we are here to answer your questions. That's the main reason why we created this webinar. Andy, a lot of Moroccans want to go for schools in the UK. It's close to Morocco, it's only 3 hours away, the cost of travel is not that far, etc. But many Moroccans think that it's very costly. You know, there is a you know, a myth out there. As soon as you say go to the UK, you know, they say, well, it's costly. So the costs, I mean, especially now, people are very cost sensitive. What are the ways that they can reduce their costs for their studies, or actually optimize, I would say, I don't want to say reduce, but optimize their cost of studies?
Okay, yes, it is a conception. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say that it is cheap, because that is not the case. There is still an investment that students and their parents do have to make when it comes to studying in the UK. However, the first thing to state is the actual UK education system itself is beneficial from a cost perspective because it is more condensed and shorter. So traditionally, you can get, for example, a bachelor's degree in engineering from a top UK university in 3 years, whereas the minimum usually in France or Morocco or the US, for example, is usually an absolute minimum of 4 years, but can sometimes also take 5 or 6 years. So generally speaking, first of all, the degrees themselves are shorter in the UK. So you're cutting down the cost of tuition per year and the living costs. The other thing to consider is, particularly for those students who may be joining us who are graduating from the Moroccan Baccalaureate, the fact of the matter is, with the Moroccan Baccalaureate, the vast majority of UK universities require that the students complete an additional year, usually a foundation year, before commencing study on their degree programs. Now, through our partnership with London Academy, what we're actually saying is stay with us in Morocco, complete that foundation year locally, and then progress to the UK, either to do the full 3 years, or even, as you know, Samir, we're having conversations at the moment where we're actually looking to introduce the first year of a UK degree here in Morocco. So the massive advantage of that being is that students would effectively be able to stay in Morocco for that additional year, save money on tuition fees, because the tuition fees at London Academy are generally lower than they would be in the UK, and then progress to the UK, complete your degree in 2 years, and graduate with your degree certificate. So the flexibility that London Academy Casablanca is providing is fairly significant in terms of saving cost.
So what you're saying is students can spend up to 2 years in Morocco, and with just a Moroccan, any Moroccan high school, any Moroccan high school, any Moroccan. So even if they
absolutely
have, because in Morocco we have science, we have literature high school, we have all types of high school.
No, the entry requirements are flexible to consider all academic backgrounds. The other thing to consider is any students who might be studying the French baccalaureate or who have already obtained the French baccalaureate, they actually have a slight advantage depending on their score and their level of English, naturally, because all of the foundation year is taught in English. All NCUK programs are taught in English. Depending on their English language score, they actually might be able to bypass the foundation year potentially and go directly into the international year one, which is the first year of a UK degree. So the opportunities aren't just for students who are studying IGCSE or Moroccan bac. There are also opportunities for the French bac students as well.
Okay. And so what you're saying is they will spend 2 years in Morocco and 2 years in the UK, and they will be considered exactly just like if they spend the whole 4 years in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. Their degree certificate looks exactly the same as any UK student's degree certificate or any student that has studied the full degree program in the UK.
Kevin, so thank you very much. I mean, this is very, very important information. Just a second here. So I'm just having some problem with my video. Okay. I'm back. So this is very, very important. And so the cost of those 2 years will be like a Moroccan cost, as if they are in a Moroccan university. And only the last 2 years have been a problem with my video. Hold on just a second. If it doesn't work, I may have to go back to the old video. Okay. And they're going to spend 2 years in the UK, and they will pay only the last 2 years. That will be kind of the higher cost. So if you do the math, 2 plus 2, I've done the math, and I found out that it will be about the cost of actually studying in France, okay, which is Morocco. That's the reference. We know the cost of studying in France, and France is at least 4 or 5 years. So you're going to do it in a shorter time period, and you're going to get a UK degree.
It's also quite important to note that for any students who are interested in studying in the UK, generally speaking, if you live outside of London, and we have lots and lots of universities spread all across the UK, whether that be in Wales or in Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield, generally speaking, all of these cities are very, very cost effective to live in, and certainly on average will be a lot less expensive than some of the big French cities, for certain.
I'm now talking to the audience. Do you have any questions? And I would like to welcome Sukaina with us.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Sukaina.
Hi, good morning.
Sukaina Hashimi is a student who went to the university in the UK. You went to Kingston University?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Kingston is part of the NCUK consortium universities. So is it okay, Kevin and Andy, we're going to talk a little bit Moroccan. Is
No
that
problem.
Please. Yeah,
okay?
please.
تبارك سكينة لاباس عليك؟
لاباس الحمد لله كلشي مزيان صافا vous allez bien
تبارك الله عليك كيف الصحة ديالك تمايا؟ جيسبر كو كلشي مزيان ما كتحسش براسك كاين المشاكل ديال الصحة في لونجلتير؟
لا صافا الحمد لله مزيان
صافا؟
لا صافا تري بيان
الوغ عاودنا ان تي بو على ليكسبيريونس ديالك باش مشيتي قريتي في لونجلتير لان بزاف الناس ما كيخموش يمشيو يقراو في لونجلتير يمكن لك تقول لنا ان تي بو كومون سا سي باسي بور تو
الوغ
هضر بالعربيه راه المغاربه
درت الباك ساينس فيزيك في المغرب في ايكول ماروكان بريفي اي من بعد جي ديسيدي باش ندير لي كلاس بريبا ديال ليكونومي بوبليك j'ai fait les classes prépa mais le seul trajet de les classes prépa c'est soit tu vas rester au Maroc ou là تمشي en France. ما بغيتش نمشي en France دونك خرجت من les classes prépa في العام الاول ديالي وبقيت نفكر فين غنمشي بويسكو كنت باغا ندير لا فينانس كنعرفوا بان لندن هي اللي فيها لا فينانس بزاف the half of the financial sector تما قررت باش غادي نمشي للندن دوكو بقيت نقلب ايلات شنو خصني ندير لا بروسيدور كلشي تنسول وكلشي اي من بعد جيت باش ندير فاونديشن يير درت فاونديشن يير في كينغستون يونيفرسيتي
alors juste une question الفاونديشن يير كانت في المغرب ديرها في المغرب ولا تمشي لليو كي زعما جوست باسكو tu n'avais pas cette occasion ما كانش ديك الساعه فاونديشن يير في المغرب
لا ما كانش
زعما واش هاد الفاونديشن يير في المغرب غتفتح الافاق بزاف ديال المغاربه
بصح غدير باسكو ديك الوقيته اللي كنمشيو نديرو فاونديشن كتكون عندك يلاه 18 عام كتكون فريمون مخلوع مازال ما عارفش ما عارفش لا لونغ ما كتعرفش سي كوا لونفيرونمون كيفاش غادي يكون داير ولا كلشي كتكون خلعه تريبلي بزاف دوكو كان في المغرب تو ريستي اون فامي وكلشي وغتلاقى الناس اللي يقدروا يمشيو معاك حتى هما هذيك غتكون بيان سور غتكون احسن
داكوغ دونك مشيتي عملتي فاونديشن يير اش من فاونديشن يير درتي في
بزنس مانجمنت اند لو
واو اوكي
ومن بعد ساليتو j'avais soit l'opportunité باش نجلس في كينغستون عطاوني scholarship because I go it was called an excellence scholarship يا اما نجلس في كينغستون وغيعطوني ريدكشن غينقصوا لي من tuition fees ولا يمكن لي نمشي وغيعطوني غير وصافي يمكن لي نمشي فيما بغيت من بعد جي ديسيدي باش نمشي مشيت لكي Essex University قريت banking and finance the only difference was a 4 years degree 4 سنين ماشي درت 3 سنين في الاندرغراد حيت بغيت ندخل placement year سو قريت عامين بعد خرجت خدمت في بوش اند سيمنز ومن بعد
Sorry guys, we're talking Moroccan.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You know, she gives very interesting insights.
I did hear some English words that I could. I heard some scholarship information.
Yeah.
So one of the first, I mean, she went and she did foundation in the UK in Kingston University. And they wanted to keep her because she was a bright student and they gave her scholarships to stay, okay? But she decided to go to another university that has a 4-year program, you know, that has a sandwich year. She went to Essex University that has a sandwich year, which allowed her to study 2 years, go 1 year and work, and come back and finish her bachelor's degree. So in reality, the 4 years is in length, but in 1 year is experience and 3 years of studies. Donc, Soukaina, donc tu as fait 3 ans ديال القرايه وعام ديال l'expérience.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Was it, est-ce que ça a été facile pour toi de trouver داك العام d'expérience مشي تعمل une expérience عملتي هاد l'expérience en Angleterre ولا في المغرب؟
لا en Angleterre.
En Angleterre. Ok, donc dis-moi un petit peu, parce que ça, tout d'abord, بزاف الناس ما كيعرفوش على أن l'Angleterre كتعطي des bourses. فهمتي des bourses de réduction, des bourses de mérite. بحال في امريكا بحال في كندا اكسيتيرا. دونك بزاف الناس يجيبوا من الله فاش كيشوفوا داك الثمن تيقولوا صافي هذاك هو الثمن اللي غنخلص. alors que pour des élèves qui sont des étudiants brillants تيخليوهم باش يعطيهم des réductions. شحال عطاوك ديال لا ريدكسيون باش شحال لو بورسونتاج؟
والله ما عقلت شحال كانت je pense c'était 10% ou la 20%. 20% je pense.
20%, d'accord. Donc normalement غادي نقولوا غتخلص واحد 18000 باوند دونك بطات القضيه جا 14000 ل 13000 سي سا. تري بيان تري بيان. دونك باش الناس يعرفوا على انه لو كو الي اوتور دو سا. بغينا نرجع لكم دابا شي شويه ce que tu dis est très important. Mais je vais demander à Kevin de me répondre à une question. Kevin, in foundation year, there's multiple types of foundation year, right? Can you explain that? Because I mean, depending on what you want to do in your bachelor's degree, what are the foundation years that exist, and what are the modules that the students need to follow?
Well, that's a very good question, Samir, and that's why I think one of the great things I mentioned earlier about the NCUK foundation year, because actually, for no matter the career path or undergraduate degree that you desire, and there's a module there for you. So if, for example, if you're looking at engineering, for example, what I think is wonderful is that, you know, students will do EAP, which is English for academic purposes. They'll do maths engineering, which is interesting, because that's a module for mathematics specifically for those who actually want to do engineering, which is unusual, actually, because many other foundation programs actually just do maths as maths. You've also the opportunity to do physics, chemistry, when you've also got, as Sakina must have done, she did business, so therefore obviously she also did business maths. Again, it was mathematics specifically for business. I think Sakina, I hope I'm right. Is that right?
Yeah, I did business management and law, and we had mathematics included as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Again, of course, there's science as well. So there's opportunity for students who actually want to go down the medical route. So actually, really, in all honesty, there's something there for everybody. And as it says in, you know, the foundation, it does lay the groundwork for where you want to do. And in fact, some of our students who have actually gone on to university, when they actually start first year of university, actually felt as if some of it was revision of actually what they actually had covered in the international foundation year. Is that right, Sakina? Did you find that?
That's definitely true. Like you were
so
ahead.
The fact is, you're way ahead. Yeah, you're way ahead. And even the very fact, Sakina, I'm sure you know it when you met people who actually did A-level at university, you were ahead of them as well.
True.
So I'll go back to Sakina. Donc, il y a eu vous avez la bourse, مشيتي l'ESSEC. Ce qui m'intéresse durant ESSEC, comment tu as pu avoir we're going to go live now on Facebook, guys, so get ready. Donc, how did you get the scholarship? I mean, how did you find the jobs on your third year? Was it easy or not?
No, it was not. I would say it's a bit easier than finding a job after you graduate because you don't need any sponsorship or any visa. It's already included. But knowing that we come from a different market, like it's the Moroccan way of doing things, like it was very different. But we had a lot of support. This is the thing, like I'm very grateful for, is that people is like they support you throughout the whole way, like from writing your CV to whatever. And yeah, so I got familiar with the processes and stuff. And I have a funny story for that because I actually did 57 applications, only heard from around 10 people, got like 7 interviews secured, and then yeah.
اوكي دابا راه كتهضر مع المغاربه سور فيسبوك وسور
هضر بالعربيه
سور زوم خسر لهم c'est-à-dire que دابا لو bachelor's degree هو في 3 سنين ديال القرايه ولكن اون تيرم دو دوري فيه 4 سنين وعندك عام ديكسبيريونس دونك انت كتقرا في العام الثاني ديالك تو دو شيرشي بحال انترنشيب اللي غتمشي دوز عام ديال الخدمه وهادشي هذا درتي في لندن ياك لندن فازي اكسبليك-نو ان بتي بو هذا لو بروسيس هذا بالعربيه باش المغاربه كلهم يفهموا.
الو قريت عامين في العام الثاني فاش الله دخلت نقرا كان خصني نبدا ندفع لي ستاج اللي هما اون اني دو سيزور. بديت ندفع لي ستاج في الاول دفعت ل 57 شركه يلاه سمعت من عند 10 من بعد حيتاش اغلبيه تيبغيو الناس اللي غيخليوهم عندهم من بعد ما يتخرجوا باش يبغي تقرا وعاوتاني يرجع لنا سي موان دو داك الريكروتمون ديالهم غينقص ماشي يبقاو ديما تيريكروتيو او موان تيعرفوك ديكو خصك تكون يا اما اوروبيان ولا انجليش ولا شي حاجه ناضا ما غيقبلوكش الا كنتي مغربي بالحق غير ولا انترناسيونال غير المهم خاصك تجرب.
خصهم يشيرش دي بيرسون بريونت زعما اللي غادي من بعد فاش غيرجعوا يقراو عام ومن بعد كيرجعوا يخدموا مع ديك الشركه. اوكي
اصلا واحد الحاجه هنا في انجلتير فاش كتبغي تدفع للخدامين راه خاصك ضروري تكتب لهم شحال كنتي كتجيب بروميير اني دوزيام اني اي دي فوا كاع تيقول لك نهار الانترفيو جبنا ترانسكريبت بحال انا فاش ندوز الانترفيو ديالي كان خصني ندير لهم لي ريزولطا ديالي ديال بروميير اني ولي ريزولطا ديالي دوزيام اني حتى النهار ديال الانترفيو.
داكور اوكي فازي.
ومن بعد صافي كدوز لي زانترفيو ديال كاملين لي زيكزامان كلشي تلقى الخدمه كتسالي عامك الثاني ومن بعد كتمشي.
فين خدمتي هذا العام هذا فين خدمتي؟
بوش اند سيمنز عندهم بلوزون ديالهم هي اللي خدمت فيها.
دونك سا سي دي بوات دو تكنولوجي.
اكزاكتومون.
اوكي وشنو درتي ذاك العام سيتي كوا لو ترافاي كو تو في؟
كنت كندير purchasing procurement.
واو اي دونك مازال انت ايتوديونت وكتخدمي في الديبارتمون ديال procurement.
وكتبقى ليا tu restes lié à l'université tu dois faire coursework l'université اللي عنده علاقه بالخدمه ديالك.
داكور
كيعطيوك سوبرفايزر من القرايه اي سوبرفايزر من الكاريرز حتى هو.
تري بيان. وكنتي كتخلص هذا العام هذا كانوا تيخلصوك؟
نورمالمون وي tu dois payer 10% من التويشن فيز ديالك حيت مازال عندك سوبرفايزر مي انا جي با باي.
اوكي ولكن لا واش تيخلصوك هاد بوش اند سيمنز كانوا كيخلصوك على الخدمه ديالك؟ شحال تخلصتي ذاك العام؟
15k في العام.
15,000 pounds تخلصتي alors que tu es toujours donc انت عندك 2 ans d'université وخلصوك 15,000 pounds. دونك او موان بالنسبه لي بارون بعد هذاك العام ما ينو با.
وانا ميم سكنا جونغ داكشي علاش كان نورمالمون يمكن لا تكون اكثر يمكن لا تكون حتى 20k.
عطاوك السكنه؟
كانت سكنه سابسيدايزد كنا كنخلصوا عليها حتى شي حاجه سيتي جوست اكوتي اي كانوا البونسز سو كنت لي بونسز.
اوكي ومن بعد رجعتي للونيفرسيتي؟
اكزاكتومون
ودوزتي عام
ودوزت عام وكانوا هضروا معايا الا بغيت نرجع نخدم مي جو
يطون في اون اوفر باش ترجع تخدم.
اكزاكتومون
وكان رجعتي تخدم عندهم هما كيصوبوا لك الوراق تمايا بور كو تو بيس ترافايي اون ريزيدونت نورمال ياك؟ سمعت بزاف الناس اللي يرجعوا يخدموا وصوبوا لهم الوراق وي سون ميم دوفونو بريتانيك ابخي.
اكزاكتومون
داكور.
رجعت ما بغيتش نخدم حيت كان خصني ندير ماستر ديالي.
اوكي
here we are.
غادي نرجع لهذه القضيه ديال الماستر ابخي. اوكي Andy, so she really explained to us the process of she studied 2 years. Thank you Sukaina, because these are you're talking from practical points of view, okay, and it's reality what Moroccan students will go through if they go to the UK. So she explained to us that she spent 2 years studying and she got a job with Bosch and Siemens in the procurement departments. She stayed in touch with the university because she has to have a supervisor from the university that checks on her to make sure that she's studying things that will count for her in her last year of university. And she went back and she told me that she also through the hiring process, they want to hire people for their internship. that they want to make sure that this person will come back after they graduate. So they do a very good screening. She said she applied for 57 companies. She got a reply from 10. She got 7 interviews, and she landed a job with Siemens and Bosch. I'm sure, Sukaina, that if you applied outside London, because I think London is there's a lot of demand on London, but outside London, I think it will be much easier. Share with us this whole process of the sandwich year, of industry year. It's really important because in Morocco we have, and in France and all the countries around, you just study and you are thrown out of the wall to the industry, and you start looking for a job, and everybody looks at you as like you have no experience, and they see that you still need to be trained. So why should they invest money on you? So what they do is they start giving you a really, really bad salary, and they said, well, we're gonna train this person as well, and once he becomes good, then we can give him a better salary. So this sandwich year and industry year that you have in the UK, can you share your thoughts about that and how it really can benefit Moroccan students?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what I would say is, and thank you for sharing your experience of your sandwich year. It's always very interesting to see how students from outside of the UK benefit from programs like this. But the first thing that I think is important to point out is there is a huge range of different sandwich year programs across multiple disciplines, multiple universities, and degree programs. So whether you're interested in becoming an engineer, a games developer, interior designer, an accountant, whatever your dreams are in terms of your career, chances are there will be a sandwich year program which is available for you. And it is massively advantageous to do a sandwich year, not only from a jobs perspective. So as Samir has as you've already pointed out, you are more attractive to employers. That is just a fact, because you have very real work experience relevant to your field. But there's also been research carried out to actually show that students who do a sandwich year also benefit from that practical experience when it comes to their studies, and do tend to actually get a better score and a better degree at the end of it, because they're able to apply very relevant examples to their studies as well. So not only are you more employable, but you also come out with a better degree. If it was up to me, I would probably make sandwich years mandatory. Actually, I think they're that important to students that I would really encourage anybody considering studying in the UK to follow a similar path to what we've heard today.
What you just said, Andy, is really, really important. And I wish that our leaders in Morocco in higher education will apply this, because just studying through without any experience doesn't really serve.
It's not the same.
But when you go out and you spend a year working as an intern, not because sometimes we have this internship of 1 month or 2 months. I don't consider you're not going to get anything out of 1 month. It will take you at least 3 months to adjust to your environment. So spending that whole year working and getting real practical training will have an immense impact in the direction of your career, because you may find things during your internship that will benefit you, and you can, once you go back to university, let me learn more about that. You want to go ahead, Andy, if you want to, if you have some thoughts about that, because this is I think it's of the essence to create a bridge between the university and the industry and the private sector.
A lot of our universities that we work with actually already have links with key employers. So, for example, I know Sheffield Hallam University, which is one of the NCUK universities, they work very closely with Boeing and Rolls-Royce in terms of their engineering students. So their particular students are able to benefit from that partnership between the university and a company all of the universities in the UK have incredible links with the industry, and the industry also often fishes for employees, with new employees within the graduate pool as well. So it is a very mutual, beneficial relationship between the university, the students, and also the industry. What I think is also quite important to state is that in terms of the other benefit is when a student is studying the internship, so is not studying the internship, is on an internship program, they pay a far reduced tuition fee in terms of what they are, you know, they don't pay a full tuition fee. They pay a far smaller fee to remain part of the university. And in most instances, I don't know if this was the case with you, but in most instances, students are actually paid for this year as well. So
actually, she got paid £15,000.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. It's not just great from an experience point of view. You are also benefiting financially by paying a far reduced tuition fee and also getting paid for your work, which I'm sure is welcome to anyone, really. Yeah. We all go to work ultimately, well, most of us to be paid. So it's always nice to be rewarded for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to add to that about paying the university really like a small tuition fee. They only ask you for 10%. But again, on your first year, if you don't pass a threshold of a mark that they put, you won't be eligible to go in a placement year. And if you do pass it or surpass it a lot, you don't even pay that 10% for your placement year. So you literally go without any tuition fees. That's what happened to me. So okay. I didn't pay any tuition fees while I was on my placement.
So these are very good insights of studying in the UK, and a lot of people, I mean, what we address is the ability to start in Morocco and continue in the UK. Okay, we address the ability to do internships on your third year and really get some real practical training that will allow you to, once you finish your degree, you can come back and get a job and get even stay as a resident in the UK and get enough experience. And that gives you the choice to come back home or to stay in the UK. Okay,
yeah, so, and just adding to that is actually it was announced by the UK government last year in September time, before all of this uncertainty that we're seeing in today's government. But the government did pledge that international students from 2021, I believe, actually now have the right to remain in the UK for 2 years upon graduating to actually find a job. It used to be the case where students had to leave, usually after a month or two, but now the students actually have the right to stay in the UK for up to 2 years to find a suitable job, which could obviously enable them to stay for a lot longer than that. So that's really, really positive for international students, very positive.
Donc, Soukaina, tu as terminé ton bachelor. Tu as eu une offre de فين خدمتي فين درتي الانترنشيب باش ترجع معاهم وقررتي تعمل ان ماستر.
وي
ياك. Alors, قول لي comment tu as هذا واش كانوا دي بورس فهمتي comment ça s'est passé pour avoir un master.
كانوا دي بورس.
شنو هي لا ديوري دو ماستر en Angleterre هادشي كله المغاربه بغاو يعرفوا عليه.
12 mois. هادي اللي حاجه مزيانه. 12 mois. وي اكزاكتومون. بديت في التالي ديال اوت وغنسالي دابا في الاول ديال سبتمبر.
Très très bien. Donc, كيعطيو دي بورس pour le master ou لا؟
يا لي بورس pour le master كاينين بزاف. الوغ ça commence من الا مشيتي للتوب توب يونيفرسيتيز كاينين دي بورس اللي كيتعطاو pour les africains et pour les arabes. Ils sont sponsorisés بلي gouvernements ديال الميدل ايست.
اوكي. Même attends, مغربي ولا مغربيه elle peut aussi avoir accès à ces bourses.
Exactement. Une amie algérienne a une bourse من la même bourse وكتقرا في كامبريدج دابا.
اوكي دونك من الخليج عطاو اون بورس يعطيو دي بورس باش لي زغاب يقراو في الجامعات البريطانيه. القضيه ما كنتش كنعرفها. تري بيان. اوكي فازي.
ومن بعد كاينين دي بورس اللي هما ديال اليونيفرسيتي اكزاكتومون بحال امبيريال كان عندها بزاف ديال لي بورس.
اوكي.
اي كاينه كل يونيفرسيتي عندها لي بورس ديالها. ضروري في الماستر تيكونوا لي بورس جو الا ما كانتش كومبليت كيعطيوك اب تو 80% 50%. ما كاينش زعما شي حاجه اقل من هاد 80 من 50%.
داكور دونك يعطيوك 50% دو ريدكسيون في لو كو دو ماستر. فين درتي انت الماستر ديالك؟
امبيريال كوليج لندن.
Okay, so Sukaina got a scholarship to do her master's degree at Imperial College in London, which is a very prestigious university.
No,
right?
actually, I didn't because I applied really late.
Okay.
The deadline passed, so there was a question that came about deadlines as well. I didn't because I didn't get it. The deadline passed, so I didn't get it. So.
Okay, so where are you doing your master's?
Yeah, I'm doing it at Imperial, but I'm paying full. So.
Oh, okay. So you missed your opportunity to get your scholarship. It's okay. It's okay. So now you're going to graduate, inshallah, at the end of August. Do you have any jobs lined up? Do you have any interviews happening? How are things going? You know, especially nowadays with what's going on.
So I had a few interviews with banks, like UBS and Citi and stuff, and they got cancelled.
Oh,
The whole job just got the whole recruitment got frozen because of the situation. So we don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm part of the Dean's Advisory Council at my university. So we're trying to work out if we can get that 2 years recruitment thingy that we can stay in the UK. So they're trying to work out if they could get something like that with the Home Office. So hopefully.
Okay. Well, Sukaina, علاش ما ترجعش للمغرب؟ tes idées brillantes, tu peux énormément aider le Maroc. احنا بغينا الناس بحالك يرجعوا للمغرب.
It's my ultimate goal إن شاء الله. ما نجلسش هنا مي بغيت غير ولا بحيث كتجيب الدبلوم sans expérience.
Oui, c'est une bonne chose d'avoir une expérience من على برا الواحد يدخل. Moi aussi أنا قريت aux États-Unis وخدمت 3 سنين من بعد مي ديبلوم وعاد دخلت للمغرب. دونك ça m'a ouvert les portes باش دخلت هذيك الساعة مع مايكروسوفت sur l'Afrique du Nord et de l'Ouest وطلعت الحمد لله dans mes Microsoft a des positions très importantes. So she's just saying that she's now at Imperial College. She's going to finish her degree, and there's a little bit of uncertainty. And I said, well, you know, you should come back home. We need smart people like you. And she said, well, it would be nice to get some experience before she comes back home because it's always valuable. Okay. So Kevin, your take on the education system, the British education system compared to other education systems around the world, because I know you've traveled quite a bit around the world, you've managed schools around the world, and you know what's the difference between different education systems. Go ahead.
Samir, that's a very hard question this morning. But actually, Andy has more stamps in his passport than me. Andy's been around the world to more places than me. But the honest truth is, Samir, what I love, obviously I might be slightly biased, but what I love about the British education system is that other education systems that I've come across seem to be, everything is based on knowledge. And what I mean by that is that what we do is we study to pass exam. So what you do is you cram as much information as you can, and then you actually hope and pray that some questions come out that you'll be able to answer. What I found about the British system is that a lot of the system is based on not just knowledge, but application of knowledge. Yeah. And again, I think Sakina mentioned that in terms of why she did the sandwich year. You see, we can have as much theory and knowledge as possible, but if you don't actually have an opportunity and know how to apply what you've learned, then actually the learning goes very fast. So what I love about the British system is that it is broad, but it's also deep. Some other systems are perhaps broad, but is actually you know a little about lots. Whereas what I find about the British system is that anything that you've studied in great depth. And also, what I also find is that there are students here, for example, who have studied the British system, who have gone to Canada, for example, they've gone to the US, for example, and you know, when they actually get there and actually face some of the studies in those countries, they actually leave their classmates behind, because the depth of knowledge and the application of knowledge is something that the other students don't seem to have. So again, I don't know if you found that.
Yeah.
The قضية ديال depth of knowledge, how do you see it?
Is there a question for me?
Yeah, your question is comment tu compares l'éducation britannique مع l'éducation traditionnelle au Maroc اللي عندنا عارفة شي شوية.
I can't agree.
شوف نهضر بالعربية باش ما يفهموناش، نقدروا نهضروا مع المغاربة الصراحة أنا كيعجبني الصراحة.
لا الصراحة تنقولها في أي بلاصة مشيت، عندي صحابي في فرنسا، عندي صحابي في أي بلاصة، ملي تنجلسوا نهضروا على شي مواضيع واخا داكشي كله قريناه مجموعين، كتلقى راسك عارف أكثر على شنو واقع دابا على هما عارفين شنو كان كيوقع ولا شي حاجة. سي لا كومباريزون، تو تري كونتمبوران، عارفة شنو واقع دابا. بحال دابا لي بروجي اللي تنخدموا حنا عليهم سو سون با دي بروجي اللي هاك خرج لي هاد التمرين، هاك صوب لي هادي. بروجي ديال شركه خدامه عليه تيجيو تيعطيوه لك تخدم عليه انت اون طونك ايتوديون، كتعرف راسك شنو تدير. داكشي كله اللي قريتيه في القسم انا كيعطيو اصلا فاش كتمشي تقرا هنا في لونجلتير، عندك ساعه ديك الساعتين اللي غتقرا ديال ليكتشر تيكتبوها لك من نهار اللي كتدخل. سي ليكيفالون ديال 6 سوايع اللي خصك تمشي تقراها بوحديتك في الدار. هو راه تيعطيك غير لي تيتر، غير لي غون تيتر، داكشي اللي غيجي في الامتحان ولا في لي بروجي ديالك راه هو اللي غتمشي تقرا راسك. Il encourage the self-studying.
Donc, autonomous, you learn how to be autonomous. Donc, tu apprends l'autonomie ou l'esprit de recherche. أنا فاش قريت في أمريكا، عملت mes études aux États-Unis، كندخل القسم تيعطيونا quelque chose de very broad. تقول لهم اعطيني الديتاي، اعطيني لي زيبوتيز. لا تيقول لك سي ا توا دو ميتر لي زيبوتيز. كيفاش مي كون tu sors dans le monde du travail كتلقى effectivement راه سي ا توا دو ديفلوبي لي زيبوتيز ديالك، كوم سا tu vas résoudre un problème avec tes propres hypothèses. Donc كل واحد تياخذ لي زيبوتيز ديالو. واحد الحاجه très importante que j'ai appris aux États-Unis c'est presentation skills. انت ديما presentation skills ou group projects، ديما خدام en groupe وديما tu présentes. Donc tu dois vendre un petit peu tes idées. OK. Donc في l'Angleterre c'est la même chose.
Exactement. انا دابا في البيريود ما عندناش كورس ورك واحد، it's not a group project، حتى حاجه ما individual، كلشي جروب و you get allocated. ماشي بحال المغرب تختار ولا شي حاجه.
راه تختار داك صاحبك اللي كيقرا ولا صاحبتك اللي كتقرا مزيان هو كيدير الخدمه كلها وانت اللي كتخيل.
ما كاينش كاين بير ريفيو قبل ما تسالي اي بروجي. كاين واحد الحاجه سميتها بير ريفيو اللي هي انت كتعطي النقطه لهذوك الناس اللي معاك في الجروب، دوكو كلشي اوبليجي باش يخدموا. اي لا تروازيام الا مشيتي تما
لا بس هذه زوينه هذه. دونك vous êtes en groupe. شحال بكم في الجروب تقريبا؟
5 6 ça dépasse pas
5 6. دونك كتصوبوا لو بروجي بيناتكم وكل واحد كيعطي الاخر النقط ديال كومون الى كونتريبيو في لو بروجي ياك.
اكزاكتومون بالكومنت
بالكومنت. دونك هذاك السي اللي لان ديما كيكون جروب تيكونوا جوج كيخدموا الاخرين كيتفرجوا.
رايدرز.
دونك هذوك اللي كيتفرجوا كتجيو موفيز نوت من عندنا الناس اللي خدموا.
اكزاكتومون.
ما كاينش هادشي ديال هذا صاحبتي وهذا صاحبي وهذا غادي ما كاينش.
لا ولا مشيتي شي نهار ومشيتي عند البروف ديالك وقلتي له انا ديك البنادم ما غنخدمش معاه، راه ما تيخدمش ولا شي حاجه، راه انت اللي كينقصك النقط ماشي هو. وقعت لينا شحال من مره.
داكور. دونك
يقول لك خاصك تحط راسك بحال هكا فوزيت في ريل وورلد، راكم في الخدمه، ما غاديش تجي تمشي عند البوس ديالك تقول له انا هذا ما غنخدمش معاه. You need to find a way out.
D'accord, donc tu dois négocier, tu dois le motiver. C'est-à-dire حتى قضيه ديال لا موتيفاسيون c'est d'abord we have actually a lot of questions that we need to answer. You know, it's a very, very interesting discussion because I'm talking to Andy and Kevin from a a learning perspective. And I'm talking to Sukaina from a real practical, what a Moroccan student goes through to get his degrees, which is a very good match. So one of the questions is, my current workplace is where I worked as an intern during 6 months during my sandwich year, traineeship and internship, help you develop networks and get your visa. So this is more of a statement. How could students who aspire to pursue their studies abroad and manage to go study there and graduate from here be persuaded to return back to their home, invest and contribute to the development of their country, as well as keep in touch with the country where they got qualified? So this question, I'm going to ask Sukaina and later Andy, I think. So go ahead, Sukaina. How can we?
Can I answer in English, right?
Yeah, in English, yeah, you can.
Okay. So the one thing that you should do, of course, you can't forget your roots. So we're Moroccans at the end of it. And of course, I have a lot of patriotism for my country. So I started, well, at the same time I'm studying, I actually founded my social enterprise in Morocco. So to help girls in orphanages, like give them coaching and mentoring. So this is one thing that keeps me a bit connected. So I talk a bit with people in the professional world so they can contribute as well. The second one is if I go back.
So Kenna, you're already contributing to Morocco.
Yeah. Well.
And you're doing it virtually, or you come to Morocco from time to time and you meet these girls?
So we have a team and I'm the only one. So I'm the founder and the president and I'm the only one who's abroad. Okay. So the team is already in place. Right now it's all disrupted because of the situation. We couldn't go ahead. But yeah, most of it, I do stuff online and then send them to the team or anything.
I congratulate you for what you're doing. And if I can contribute in any way, shape or form, please let me know.
Thank you very
much. Andy?
Yeah, it's all.
The question is to go back or not to go back?
Well, it is a question that that faces everybody really. It's the issue of brain drain is something that you will see very, very often. I guess there's no right or wrong answer to this because I feel that studying overseas, gaining a very good degree actually only serves to open more doors for you, whether that be in your home country in Morocco or whether that be working in Asia or elsewhere in Africa or in the States. The degree is your passport to go wherever you want to go, really. And, you know, because there will be many Moroccans who have studied in the UK, returned to Morocco, and also many Moroccans who will be living in the UK or who have gone to the States. They will always have that connection back to Morocco and will always facilitate conversations between Morocco and whichever country they are choosing to live in. So that is a tricky question, really. But yeah, I would also like to pass on my congratulations. What a fantastic initiative that sounds. Yeah, very, very noble.
Thank you.
So Andy, to summarize what you're saying is we are creating ambassadors.
Yeah,
ambassadors, Moroccan ambassadors to the UK and UK ambassadors to Morocco. Okay, and it's actually wherever they land, it's a win-win.
Yes, and what I'm also saying is it may not necessarily agree with the idea of returning to Morocco per se, but yeah, getting an education, getting a top quality degree opens up doors to wherever you want to go, whether that be back in Morocco, the US, Asia, wherever it might be. The world is a small place.
I would like to invite Basma. I see Basma who's with us. She's an attendee. And I would like to invite her to say something because she went through the NCUK program and she also graduated, but she actually came back to Morocco. She's now working in Morocco. So I'm promoting her to become a panelist. I hope, I mean, it's okay if you don't want to appear, you can at least talk, Basma. So I just invited her as a panelist. There you go, there's Basma.
Hello,
Hi, Basma, how are you? Can
I'm
you
good. How are you?
share with us your experience? ويمكن لك تهضر بالعربية باش المغاربة كل شيء يفهم.
Yes,
أنت حديثي عملتي NCUK في المغرب ومن بعد
yes.
مشيتي لأنجلترا وقريتي وحتى عملتي ساندويتشير.
لا أنا كنت درت internships ومن بعد درت a program right after my MBA and then I go back to Morocco.
اوكي ورجعتي للمغرب. شحال عملتي الاكسبيريونس في انجلترا قبل ما ترجع للمغرب؟
I would say in total a year and a half.
year and a half في انجلترا مع
Because I was working part-time while I was studying. Well, I
Okay.
had internships between my BA, my bachelor's and then my MBA. And then at the end, I worked for a company.
Okay.
And then I decided to go back.
Ça a été facile pour toi de trouver du travail au Maroc بعد ما رجعتي من l'Angleterre?
Just like Andrew was saying, if you have a good degree, this is your passport. So people at least appreciate the level of your degree. They know
Okay.
it's UK, and UK is really well established in the country here. It's not like all the French degrees that we used to see. ولكن there's always, as Sukaina said earlier, ديما هذاك الأول كيكون شوية صعيب. So it takes time to find the right opportunity. ولكن once, I think it takes a year to finally know what you can do in Morocco. Because at the beginning you are lost, you don't have any guidance, and you're all alone in the country, in the job market. ولكن it takes you a year to finally know what you can do and what you can achieve. وصافي you start taking it slowly in the Moroccan job market, and you know what you can achieve in it.
فين كتخدم دابا بسمة؟ Où est-ce que tu travailles maintenant?
I work for an energy company.
Energy company, ok.
Yeah.
Donc le type de salaire, juste approximativement باش المغاربة يعرفوا quelqu'un اللي يخدم في l'Angleterre, quel type de salaire باش بديتي مع هاد الانرجي كومباني؟
I would say كتبدا بواحد 15k، واحد نقولوا للواحد اللي غادي يبدا على حساب الاكسبيرينس اللي عنده، حيت انا كانت عندي اكسبيرينس بزاف في الفيلد اللي خدمت فيه اللي هو ديال الايفنتس. So if you don't have experience it's different. ولكن I would say if you start in the country غتقدر تبدا بواحد 13000 14000 درهم 15000.
D'accord, très très bien. Donc c'est un salaire raisonnable bien pour commencer parce que il a un petit diplôme maghrébi à la traditionnelle. راه بزاف ديال الناس راه كيبداو même 4000 5000 dirhams.
Voilà.
Donc tu as commencé 3 fois le salaire de واحد السيد اللي قرا في هذا، وان شاء الله حتى je suis sûr que حتى l'accélération de ta carrière غادي تكون حتى هي conséquente.
Exactly, you evolve. So at the beginning I was in charge of the Northern Africa region, but now I look after all the Africa content. So الكونتينون كامل.
شحال الوقت ça t'a pris باش تطلع في الكراد ديالك في l'entreprise?
A year and 3 months. Because they appreciated my work and they saw that I was doing it easily and smoothly because I got experience, and I'm really I would say comfortable with the English markets, which is a huge plus because Africa تقريبا كلها English speaking, with some countries that are French speaking or other languages. So عندنا بزاف ديال regions اللي فيها English is really a plus. So that's why it's easy if you come of course from the UK or from any English speaking country.
Ok, Basma, merci beaucoup pour ton intervention.
Je vous en prie, avec plaisir.
Je te remercie. Inch'Allah, on se verra bientôt, Inch'Allah.
Inch'Allah. Take care all of you. Bye.
Yeah. Donc, Sukaina, une question pour toi. What are the things that if time went back, would you have done, would you have changed, or would you have done differently?
Yeah, one of them is I would have been braver and maybe ask questions, because if you don't know, you don't know. You can't just assume you know things, especially about processes and things like that. So I'm speaking about applying to universities and things. So ask people, ask the admissions office, Like, literally, don't be like, oh, I'm bombarding them with questions. Just do it. They're happy to answer. Yeah, I think this is the biggest one that I regret. But
Okay.
other than that.
Dans ta carrière, le fait que tu as fait finance, etc., est-ce que c'est quelque chose que... Yeah. Est-ce que tu aurais fait une autre carrière?
No, I don't think so. I'm really comfortable with what I've chosen, so alhamdulillah.
Okay. So we answered that question. Okay, so Basma, she said that a really inspiring discussion. NCUK is a life-changing program to take. I highly recommend it to every Moroccan seeking a bright international level future. Okay, so thank you, Basma, for your testimony. So the question is to go back or not to go back. That is the question, whether to support your home country and fight the seas of trouble is a matter of personal principles and personality, identify self-assertion and realization. هذا السؤال ديالو المغاربة يرجعوا ولا ما يرجعوش هذه مهمة بزاف بزاف بزاف. Et Soukaina, je suis sûr que كيف قلتي tous les Marocains بغاو يرجعوا لبلادهم. ولكن ما كيلقاوش لي بون زوبورتونيتي بحال اللي لقيت انا ولا بحال اللي لقات بسمه. دونك سي فريمون اون كيستيون. دونك شنو كيدور زعما اوجوردي، شنو هما لي سيركونستانس اللي جعلك تبغي ترجع للمغرب، ماشي غير تقول وين نمشي ولا نمشي ولا ما نمشيش. شنو qu'est-ce qui devrait se passer pour que vraiment tu seras intéressé باش ترجع للمغرب؟
الوغ واحد يمكن حيت درت انترنشيبس في المغرب في الاول فاش كنت يلاه كنقرا هنايا، يلاه كنت كنمشي ديما للمغرب، ما كنتش كنبغي نديرهم هنا حيت مون انتيغي كان باش غندخل المغرب، دوكو خصني ندير بلاصتي. مي جو بونس في الانفيرونمون ديال الخدمه خصو يتبدل، باسكو حنا مولفين على شي حاجه، مولفين على نوتر سيستيم، ملي كتدخل تو تو سون اندر استيميتد شي شويش ولا دوكو هذيك شي حاجه اللي واخا تتقول ماشي مشكل واحد النهار تتولي مشكل.
دونك اسمح لي، دونك قلتي عملتي دي ستاج في المغرب وما حسيتيش براسك فاليود.
يا
وفاش كنكونوا حنايا على برا وكنعملوا دي ستاج واخا كنكونوا صغار كنحسوا براسنا فاليود.
اكزاكتوم.
مشكله هذه في المغرب ياك؟ ما كان
هذه مشكله وشويه ديال ميريتوكراسي كتبغيها بزاف.
اوكي.
تبغي تقول لا انا اللي وصلت راسي لهنايا، ماشي عاد خصك واحد يدخل لك باش عاد تلقى خدمه. بحال دابا في المغرب باش تلقى خدمه جو سي خصك تكون كتعرف شي حد اللي غيقول لك هذيك راها فينا هي. هنا باغ اكزومبل تشوفها جوست جوجل غتلقى تشوفها بوستولي غتمشي بحال الناس كاملين.
دونك المشكله في المغرب ديال باك صاحبي.
هذيك
هذيك. دونك انتينا اللي قريتي راسك وفي لونجلتير انديبوندونت وكتقلب على راسك وكتلقاو هذا، فاش كتجي في المغرب كتلقى راسك لازم خص شي واحد يدخل لك باش تكون عندك واحد الحاجه اللي كي اكيز اون انجلتير.
اكزاكتومون.
اوكي. هذا موضوع كبير بزاف وبزاف ديال لي جون كيعانيو منه. جيسبر كو ان شاء الله سافا شونجي او ماروك، باسكو ما نقدوش نبقاو هكا ماشيين بواحد الطريقه ديال باك صاحبي ديال انت كتطلع عليه انك كنعرف باك ولا كنعرف خاك ولا كنعرف سي با كوم سا كو سا سباس.
اي جو لو دي حتى المغاربه سي نوتر ريسبونسابيلتي في عوض ما نجيو دابا انا ماشي كنقري على لو سيستيم ماروكان ولا شي حاجه وجو لو كريتيك، مي سي بلوس سي نوتر دوفوار باش حنا نبدلوه، حنا لا جينيراسيون دو دومان. دوكو داكشي علاش جو في رونتري واخا شنو ما كانوا لي سيركونستانس ان شاء الله، اي جو فير بار دو شونجمون
اي اون كونت سور توا
ان شاء الله.
One of the questions, Andy, hold on just a second, we had it actually because I'm also looking at Facebook, is it too late to study in the UK? Because as you know, Morocco, high school diploma, high school exam will only happen in July because of the confinements. And, you know, how can this person get into the track to pursue a university degree in the UK? How do you see that's happening?
I mean, that student has, any student that is currently in their final year of their high school qualification, still has lots of time. So the first thing I would say is don't panic. There are options available for you. Whether you study your foundation in the UK itself, there is still time to apply for that, but obviously it is slightly complicated by the fact that visa offices and things at the moment are running a lot slower than they usually would be given the current pandemic, which is again why the potential to actually study a foundation in Morocco is an ideal solution, because again, there's no rush. You don't have to worry about anything to do with visas at the moment. That comes at the end of your foundation year. The new school year is aligned with when the Moroccan bac finishes. So again, you've still got time to go through the admissions process at London Academy. And I would really encourage you to get in touch with the school. Samir, I'm sure you can provide the website or contact.
We have actually created a website called NCUKCasablanca.com. So NCUKCasablanca.com, please go ahead there and apply. And we're also giving scholarships. So if somebody needs financial aid, we're giving scholarships for those who want to pursue their studies in the UK, and we're here to help out, okay, as much as possible. Okay, so it's not
too late. Yes, exactly. That's the key message. There's still lots of time.
Okay.
The other thing to say as well is I know when I was a student 10 years ago or whenever it was, I know that I didn't really know what I wanted to do, to be honest. I didn't really know I knew I wanted to go to university, but I wasn't too sure what degree to study. The foundation year, the beauty of the foundation year is you don't have to know clearly. It's brilliant if you do, but you don't have to know clearly what degree you want to do at this stage. There is a great deal of counselling and support involved during the foundation year to help you decide what is the best option for you. So I'd also encourage you, reassure you really that even if you don't know what your future holds, there's lots of support available within the program, within the foundation year to help you choose the best path for you.
So Andy, so what you're saying is you don't need to be, because a lot of students who graduate with high school, you ask them what do you want to do and they're still confused.
Yeah, you don't have to decide now. There's lots of support available during the foundation year to help you choose what degree, what university, etc. All of the support is given. I know that's very important to parents.
Excellent. A lot of support. One of the things, Andy, that Moroccans love to study is medicine.
Okay.
They love to, every family wants to have a medical doctor within the family, so they don't have to pay for medical. And if somebody gets sick at an old age, the parents want to have their son or daughter as medical doctors. And I know that the US and the UK is very difficult to go for a medical degree because you gotta have so much demand that whatever you graduate, you actually keep them at home. And if somebody comes from the international world, then there's a chance you're just gonna invest in that person and that person will go. So what are the routes that NCUK offers so that you can pursue a medical degree?
Okay, so this is actually quite unique in terms of NCUK and other foundation years, because what tends to happen is foundation years don't route to medicine. That's always been the traditional rule of thumb, if you like. But NCUK's foundation year, if you study biology, chemistry, and maths, for example, or perhaps physics instead of maths, all of which is available in Morocco as an option. We actually have 3 medical routes that students have available to them. First of all, you can study medicine, a 5-year medicine degree in the UK itself.
Just a second, Andy. So you're saying that medicine is only 5 years studies after foundation. Only 5 years. Because in Morocco, it takes about, I think, 20 years or in France to become a medical doctor, because you put your kids in school, and by the time they came out, it's like, you know, like another, at least 10 years. So
yeah, so in
5 years.
I don't know exactly why that is, to be honest.
It must be really dense. It must be really dense studies.
It's very dense, and it's also extremely experience driven. So across all of the hospitals here in the UK, it's full of students, to be honest, full of student nurses, full of student doctors, and they're getting very kind of on-the-job experience. Obviously, they're not performing life-saving operations when they're a student, but they're still around the environment and getting constant exposure, which, you know, helps them within their study. So students do have the option to study in the UK for 5 years and get a full medicine degree, and then they can begin practicing as a doctor and going through the process of, you know, being a junior doctor, etc., etc. There is the option to study in the Caribbean, in Grenada. We do work with St. George's University, which actually produces the most doctors for the United States as an institution. It's a very, very well-known institution, particularly in the United States. That is also an option. So you're able to actually study foundation year in Morocco and then progress to the Caribbean, potentially, if that is an option for you. The other option we've got, which is quite a unique option and also very, very cost effective, because it is important to state that studying medicine is very expensive. It is more expensive than any other degree course really available. But we do work with Queen Mary University London, who are a very, very well-ranked university. They actually have a campus in Malta, which is just northeast of you guys in the Mediterranean. They actually have a campus in Malta, which is charging 20,000 euros per year, around that cost, for your tuition fees for medicine.
That's reasonable.
The massive advantage of that, it's effectively half the price that you would pay in the UK, if not more. And the degree that you get at the end of it is still able to be used to practice in the UK or the US or back in Morocco. It's still a full bona fide medicine degree. So that's another option available as well.
I'm going to translate what you said so that everybody understands. دابا اللي بغى يعمل ميديسين في لانجلتير هاد NCUK اوفر 3 ديال لي روت. اول حاجه الفاونديشن يير بور ميديسين يمكن له يديرها في المغرب، دونك داك لا كلاس بريباراتوار بور الي دون يونيفرسيتي دو ميديسين يمكن لك ديرها في المغرب. ومن بعد عندك 3 ديال لي زوبسيون، او بيان تمشي لانجلتير كاين دونيفرسيتي بحال سان جورج يونيفرسيتي اللي عندها ان بروغرام دو ميديسين اون انجلتير، وهاد سان جورج يونيفرسيتي عندها تقريبا 100 اوبيتال ديالها، دونك هي كتحط الناس عندها دي زوبيتو في لانجلتير وفي لي ستازوني، كتحط الناس من بعد كيديروا لو سبيشالتي هذا في لوبيتال. وعندها ان كومبوس في غرناطه في لي كارايب اللي سورتو اللي كيمشيو هادو باش من بعد يرجوان لي ستازوني. غير بور افوار اون ايدي سور le salaire de parce qu'il y a un médecin aux États-Unis, c'est $300,000 par an. Pour vous donner une idée, 300 millions في العام كيتخلص un médecin aux États-Unis. باش كيبدا عاد كيطلع. في l'Angleterre, je crois vers les 100,000 pounds que les médecins qui donc et il y a une troisième route, il y a Queen Mary عامله un campus Malte. OK, où le coût ديالو هو النص ديال الثمن ديال القرايه en Angleterre. Donc, les bras, un petit peu, c'est vers les 20 000 euros par an. باش يقرا 5 ans هما عندهم الميديسين كلها 5 ans. 3 سنين ديال القرايه وعام ديال جينيراليست في قلب لوبيتال وعام ديال سبيسياليتي في قلب لوبيتال. دونك هادو هما un petit peu les routes pour pouvoir avoir un diplôme de médecine anglais. Donc, juste. We have a comment here from Safia. She says, I'm British. I had a British education, but I prefer working in Morocco. So yes, it's a personal choice. So we have also the brain drain actually going both ways, where also Morocco is attracting brains from the UK, which is a good thing. that we have such exchange. So we have invest and contribute to development as well as. So how could students aspire to pursue their studies abroad and manage to go study there and graduate from there, be persuaded to return back to their home country? Donc we spoke about this. Soukaina, tu peux dire un petit mot parce qu'on doit clôturer le webinaire. بالعربية شنو هما les conseils اللي يمكن لك تعطيهم المغاربة بحالك دي جون بعد ما يجدوا البكالوريا وقبلتهم بزاف ديال الطرق يمشيو لفرنسا يمشيو لاسبانيا يمشيو لانجلترا يمشيو لامريكا يمشيو لكندا النصائح ديالك
الوغ سا ديبون على شنو بغيتو تقراو وفينا هي البلاصه اللي مزيانه فيها بزاف دوكو الا كانت ميديسين كانت فينانس شنو ما كان وعرفتوا بان لانجلترا هي اللي فيها مزيان فونسي سيروا ليها هادي 1 2 سولوا بزاف قبل ما تاخذوا لا ديسيزيون ديالكم سولوا الناس كبارين منكم اوتيليزي لينكدين بزاف واخا مازالين صغار هضروا مع الناس اللي في لا ميم اكسبيريونس راه غيفيدوكم يعطيوكم دي كونساي ما كنتوش عارفين اي لا troisième des choses je suis toujours pour l'éducation pour l'Angleterre.
Donc, tu as une bonne expérience, c'est une très bonne expérience.
Et soyez actifs ملي تمشيو للونيفرسيتي soyez actifs بزاف باسكو غتحل لكم بزاف ديال الحوايج بزاف نيتورك دي scholarships لا كارير ديالكم بوستي بواحد الطريقه ما تصوروهاش
كتحس براسك عندك واحد لينيرجي في القرايه ديالك بحال اللي انت يمكن لك تغير العالم ياك
اكزاكتومون
ياك هذا هو فاش كنتسول الستازوني كنا كنحسوا بهذا سادير ليدوكاسيون كتعطينا كنحسوا براسنا يمكننا نغيروا العالم يمكننا نديروا شي حاجه اللي غادي تجيب الخير لبلادنا
اي شاك ديسيزيون تاخذوها في حياتكم فكروا واش غتفيدني باش ندخل نديرها في بلادي باسكو اون فان دو كونط راه حنا اللي خصنا ندخلوا
داكوغ سكينه دونك المغرب راه كيتسناك
ان شاء الله
الناس بحالك المغرب عنده الغرض بهم دونك واخا تعمل شويه ديال ليكسبيريونس الله يخليك رجعي لبلادك باسكو الا متو بحالك الناس بحالك ما رجعوش لبلادهم راه غادي نبقاو حنايا في واحد البلاصه اللي ما غنزيدوش لقدام بزاف دونك اون كونت سور توا اي تو ريبريزونت لا جونيس دو ماروك اللي يمكن لا تغير هاد البلاد دو كوتي تري بوزيتيف. Merci Soukaina d'être avec nous. So Andy, your last words, your last advice to Moroccan students who would like to, who are about to finish their high school degree, diploma, and want to pursue their studies in the UK or anywhere else in the world. Your advice.
My best advice would be research. It's very important that students take advantage of all of the resources available to them. Websites, the internet is obviously a wonderful place for finding out information. But equally, we understand at NCUK how daunting it can be for students thinking about studying abroad. There's a lot of things to think about. So I like to think that through our partnerships, such as with London Academy, we can offer all of the support that you need to make this massive step, you know, in your future, I guess. So I would just say research and ask lots of questions.
So Andy, so your words is do proper research to find what is the best route, and NCUK has a lot of supports. Has a way for you to study from home, from Morocco, and then continue later on in the UK.
That's it. Yes.
So I would like to thank you very much, Andy, for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you back visiting us in Morocco. And I wish you and your family health and happiness.
Thank you very much, Samir. And
sorry.
And yeah, it was lovely to hear your testimonies as well, Soukaina. Keep up the good work. It sounds as though it's going to be a huge success.
Yeah, Soukaina, merci beaucoup pour ton témoignage. فسرتي بزاف ديال لي جون شنو يديروا كيفاش يديروا باسكو بزاف ديال لي جون حايرين ما عارفين شنو خصهم يديروا، وبسطت لهم بزاف ديال المسائل. ومن احسن الاشياء اللي بسطتها لهم هو هادشي ديال الاكسبيريونس وانت كتقرا، وقضيه ديال لي بورس، لان بزاف الناس ما عارفينش على انهم ياخذوا دي بورس اون انجلتير. اي ميرسي بوكو.
Avec grand plaisir. Merci à vous. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.